Hello everybody, welcome back to the Interchange Corden. The footy's fallen over. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, the footy's back. You might be noticing that Deez isn't with us today. He's got cricket training, and so it's just H&I for your Friday, Saturday night, whenever this gets up. It's a pretty busy schedule going around, but we'll get straight into it. Bit of a sad week this week. The Sailors finally bowed out of finals contention. They had a very good run, but against the dominant Richmond, Richmond come up just too classy in the end, 80-49. Any thoughts that? I wasn't a fan of this game at all.
It was really Richmond kind of kept that same lead the whole way. St Kilda were looking like they were going to come back, and then just never came back.
Yeah.
And, it would have been hard to watch for you. Yeah. But, yeah, they've done so well this year. They've got to be happy. Love the way you're going.
Yeah.
Ratton's elite.
Yeah, he is. You can just tell from the get-go that Richmond, their experience was just way too much for the Saints.
Yeah.
And that got them over the line by 31 points in the end. And the second game of the round, Saturday night, it went right against what some people were thinking. We were hoping for a close game, and we did not get that at all. Geelong getting over the line, 100-32, and H tipped the Pies.
I'm sorry for everyone who watched me tip the Pies. If you didn't realise, that was one of the dumbest mistakes I've ever made in my life.
Yeah.
I was saying Geelong all along, and then I thought, oh boy, I might mix it up here and tip the Pies. They're in good nick. But as soon as I got off set, I realised I made a massive mistake, and especially when is Mason Cox going to play that well? When is anyone on the Geelong? Collingwood was going to play that well, so it was inevitable to happen, but didn't know it was going to happen that bad.
Yeah, Geelong really had a point to prove, and prove it they did. Coming out in a final, getting the job done by nearly 70 points in a final. It's pretty convincing in the end, and it just shows how dominant the Cats really are, shaping up a very, very, very interesting.
All Australians all over the ground. They've got everyone. And now they're eyeing off Jeremy Cameron. Tell me how Geelong have that much cap space.
I know, jeez.
It's absolutely rubbish.
They must be paying bloody Gary Ablett quite a bit if he's the one holding back.
They must be paying cheap money for guys like Menegola, Duncan, because they have so many classy players. Point. I don't know how I reckon they're scamming the league. Yeah. They're calling it now. Yeah. Geelong, you cheated the league. Don't sting at nothing. You already got Hawkins. Let the Bombers have Jamie Cameron.
That could be you could be right there because the Cats there, they somehow just
managed to get everyone.
They're always into the big players every single year somehow. Yeah. So
nothing much to say about that game. It was just utter domination from the get-go. Yeah. Hawkins was on, Dangerfield was on, Duncan was elite.
Yeah, Duncan. 87%.
Collingwood didn't even get near their forward half.
Yeah, it was an absolute blowout, and certainly wasn't the same as the week before finals. Two pretty average games, to be fair.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on.
We'll move on from last week's game into this upcoming week's game. We've got a big prelim. First up, Friday night, we've got the Cats taking on the Power in Adelaide, and it could go either way, far out. I'm like, geez.
Well, both these games could go either way.
Yeah, I mean, top four teams of the round. It's only fair that the top four make the prelim. Yeah. And they both deserve finals games. So Port, Richmond.
We'll start off with
Yeah.
And we'll do our tips now. Unfortunately, Dee's not here,
he'll send us his tips in. We might even get a video shot from him.
This game, Port versus Tigers. You've got to back in the Power. Tigers have been going just a little bit under par, I reckon, and Port are hungry this year. Let's see. I reckon Charlie Dixon will kick a bag and Port will get up. So, big things, Port and the granny. And Geelong and Brisbane, another cracking game. Both teams in good form. I'll be tipping Brizzy, though. I'll be sad to see Gary Ablett play his last game, but you've got to back in Brizzy. It'd be great to see a Port versus Brizzy granny. And, let's get this zinger box.
If you follow the Instagram, you'll be able to see the tips. And also other staff behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's really the Interchange Corden tipping competition's really heating up at the moment. Especially, there's only one tip between us.
I think 5. I'm on 5. Jesse's on 5, and Punter's on.
Is on 4, I think. So it's very, very heating up. Check out the Instagram for that. First of all, so Port versus Richmond on Friday night. It could go either way. I'm gonna have to be back in Port. Simply because you got to give them some respect. They've had an absolute brilliant season. Richmond will definitely challenge them, but on their home deck, in front of the home fans, coming off a week's bye, everything's shaping up for a Port win. Don't get me wrong, Richmond will absolutely give it everything they've got.
Close game, you predicting?
Yeah, very, very close game, I recken. But I reckon just the way Port Adelaide have gone away this season, you've got to back them in.
Yeah. I'm going to go against you there. I'm going for Richmond. As much as Port have had such a great season, I think they'll just get run over here by the Tigers, the elite Tigers. I think their forward line will struggle. I feel like Dixon might not have the best game. Their small forwards might have a bit of a hard time with some of the elite small backmen that Richmond have, and like Grimes and Short and all. I think in your game as well, I think Port and St Kilda play a bit similar with that one key forward and then lots of good crummers. And
Richmond plays similar game.
Richmond really defended that like front and square, because like especially when you play bad teams, they kick it into the forward line. King or one of your key forwards go up, probably miss the mark. But you had Butler here, not Gresham, but you had all your Loney, all your small forwards in front.
Small forwards, and that's.
And then I think Richmond nullified that really well this week, and I think that will happen again. Don't get me wrong, Port could win this. The crowd could come into play, but I don't think enough. I think Richmond will get up, and we'll get third grand
final in
4 years.
4 years. So that's a bloody good effort. Either way, to make a prelim is a good effort. So, but yeah, split on the desk here. So that could go either way. It'll be a good game. And then the following game is the second prelim, the Lions and the Cats. It's the battle of the big cats.
Yeah.
The Cats and the Lions. But it should be an absolute ripper game once again at the Gabba.
Battle of the midfielders.
Yeah, I predicted this to be my grand final earlier in the year, but and I still reckon the winner of this game will win the flag.
Yeah.
Because if Brisbane win, they'll have the home ground advantage for the final, and then if Geelong somehow topple Brisbane on their home deck, you'd back them in to do it again on grand final day.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really
tough.
I'd like to see the Cats get over the line. Yeah,
you going?
Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna go the Cats.
I'm with him. I'm going with Cats as well. I was gonna go the Lions, but it's really tempted me. The way they played last week. I don't trust them, but calm the Cats.
Yeah, you
get around them.
It's going to be a ripping game. You'd back the Lions, but the Cats, they've been in prelims.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Joel Selwood's 10th prelim.
Gary Ablett, they're going to get it up about.
Yeah, Gary Ablett, it could be his last game. They want to send him off in style with a grand final win. So
I'm predicting a massively close game.
It's going to be. I reckon it could be one of the best games we've ever seen in the year.
Yeah.
It's just, it'll be a great game. We'll find out D's tips. We're both going Cats. That could shape up very interesting in the tipping.
Yeah,
massive week of prelim finals this week. Yeah. And we'll, look forward to that. Alrighty.
We'll get straight into now. We'll go answer some of you guys' questions and things for us on the Instagram. We already touched on it today, but first of all, we'll get into a question by Paulie McDonald. Friend of a friend, and
never met the bloke, but
nice.
Good to see you you're up and about on the Instagram.
Cool. Thoughts on Wallen Cricket Club? Now, I've got my Gisborne Dragons Cricket Club. You obviously, quite a few of you potty listeners won't know about. We play in the GDCA. We're in a bit regional in Victoria. Good league. And Wallen's kind of that. I'm sorry to tell you, Paulie, mate, but we don't like Wallen.
We don't like Wallen.
We hate Wallen. We have to drive 50 minutes to get there.
It's a bloody pain to get there. Not to mention, I played for Romsey, and we've come up in the grand final, and the way they went about that grand final wasn't great.
I've never been to Wallen and came out with a win. I don't think I've ever came out with a close game. I've been pummeled every time. Yeah. And so we don't like Wallen. Sure, you're a good bloke, Paulie, mate, but. Wallen.
Yeah. Not to mention my team, the Healers, conceding 300 runs against against Wallen back in my first season at them. So
Yeah.
we don't have a good history against Wallen, but yeah, don't like you. Sorry about that, but nothing personally.
Anyway, we'll get on to the next question. We got a question by a good friend of the potty, Pat Legro, also known as Donny. He was on the show back in episode 4, I believe.
The bloke that made us TikTok famous.
Punter, why do you hate Richmond?
Oh, jeez, Donny. I mean, it's hard to say. It's pretty simple, but they beat us in the semi. So that's one reason.
Basically, friend groups, a massive collide between St Kilda, Plano, and a few of the other blokes who go for Richmond.
Yeah.
I think it's just because they're good, eh?
They're like the Hawthorn back of the 2013 era. Everyone's sick of them, and not to mention they're starting to play a bit dirty, and we don't like to see them play as dirty as they are, especially when blokes like Lynch, they're getting a bit arrogant. Even Dimmer's getting a bit arrogant. I love the Richmond Footy Club. I was rooting for them the last 2 flags they won, but I've just had enough, and seeing them beat my club was just enough to get
due for the downfall.
Give them the hatred they that I.
Next question, always gets in a question. Lockie Sheehan, 2020 Norm Smith. Ooh. Now, tough question.
Well, so on the back of our predictions being
so you're Geelong Port?
Geelong Port I am, you're Richmond Geelong. If a Geelong Port grand final occurs, I reckon no matter the result, you got to back Paddy Dangerfield.
So Paddy Dangerfield, that'd be amazing.
That'd be crazy for him. He deserves to be in a grand final, to be fair. So if Geelong make the grand final, Paddy Dangerfield will win the Naismith medalist, in my opinion.
So I'm predicting a Richmond Geelong. Screw it. Geelong will get up.
We'll back the Cats in.
But you know who's going to win the Norm Smith? Gary Ablett. Gary Ablett's going to win the Norm. Oh, jeez. Is that a terrible call?
No. There is no such thing as a terrible call on this
Gary Ablett?
show. I mean, he's a bit old, but
he could. Jeez. Wait, can I just say, Gary Ablett dream in his last season, but
if he can somehow get a send-off where he gets a premiership medallion and the Norm Smith, that would just
if I'm being more realistic, it'll be like a Mitch Duncan or something.
Yeah, it could be a weird, maybe even someone
Menegola or something.
Jack Stephen maybe. But no, I'll go Dangerfield. We'll go Gary Ablett for you for the culture.
That's probably a shit call.
But
Tom Hawkins kick 8.
I mean, to predict the Norm Smith medal this early and get it right, you're bloody fortune teller.
You're doing well. Last question. Cool Bananas 501. Who is this? I think I know who this is, but I'm not sure.
I definitely don't know who this is.
Drink more water. It's good for you.
Yeah. We'll have a tip for you.
We're off the Kirks. Become more healthy. Get on
the water. Good for the vocals.
Yeah, that's what we're on about.
Any more questions? I think that wraps it up. Yeah.
And for questions, make sure you get around questions. You can DM us anytime, telling us your stories, your questions, anything, theories. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll take anything just to discuss on the show.
Discussion on the show. While we're here, we'll also talk about, as the footy season's coming to an end, we've got 2 massive guests coming on the show soon. If you follow the Instagram, we'll let you know who they are. Yeah,
they'll be massive guests coming on.
As we move to the end of the footy season, we're gonna move away from footy and probably we're gonna go into a bit of life and a bit of cricket.
Yeah.
So if you're here for that, stick around.
Yeah, for the people that don't follow the footy as passionately, I think the potty will start to turn in your direction because we'll have some laughs, we'll have some stories.
And even for footy listeners, we got life stuff, we got interesting content coming out, so you'll still be well and truly in our heads.
Yeah, it'll still be good. Well, moving on from the questions, it'll be a bit quicker of a show this week. We're going into the Brownlow coming up this Sunday night. It's going to be virtual, so it's
going to be weird.
How should we get this going?
Well, I've just got the odds up here on Sportsbet. Shout out to Sportsbet.
Gamble responsibly.
Getting your multis. So we've got the odds here. We're going to do maybe a top 3 in our Brownlows.
Yeah, we'll do a top 3.
Just
nice and short.
Just so you throw a few names out there. $1.25.
$1.25. That is
Lockie Neal to win the Brownlow.
We don't gamble, by the way. But they are short odds. $1.25.
Boak at $7. Petrarca at 8. Steele at 13. McRae 21. Dangerfield 21. Martin 26. Bonham Pally 26, Gorn at 51.
Gorn.
So I've just put that in front of you.
For Warnie out there, Ed Langdon going at $5,000 if you want to put a
Ed Langdon.
Yeah. I'll get us kick it off. It's so hard to go past.
Bro, we'll do it. You go top 3.
Yeah, so top 3. We'll start from third place. Third place, yeah, I reckon Travis Boak. He's the Port. They've had so many wins this year. He's had a bit inconsistent year, but I reckon in the game, whenever he plays well, I reckon he's one of the best on. So that he'd have a lot of games where he picks up the 3 votes.
Yeah.
And I think with Port Adelaide's winning history, I reckon Boak will make the top 3. My second, I've got to go the homeboy, Jack Steele.
Yeah, good call.
Jack Steele.
It's not a bad call.
I'll back him in. I'd love to see him win, but it's hard to go past Lockie Neal at $1.20, 25 odds. That is absurd. When the next best is $7.
Yeah.
Like that's like Winks type stuff right there. So he's basically a lock there, but he's just he had an elite season.
Lockie Neal first.
Brisbane have had an elite season too.
I'll do mine now. So I'm gonna go a bit different. Due to I'm big on Brownlow. When we're talking Brownlow, we're talking players that stand out, because those are the players that you get 3 votes. So he might not have had the best of year, but third place, I reckon Dusty Martin will get up there.
Whoa!
You might think it's a massive call, but
jeez, that's a big call.
When Dusty plays well, the umps love him. It is true. It's Richmond. It's Richmond.
The umps do love him, and you wouldn't rule it out.
Second, it's a massive call. It's either between Steele, Petrarca, or Boak. And I think Petrarca's had a bit of an overrated season. Yeah, in my opinion.
He's either gone so well, or you just wouldn't.
So I'm kind of going Steele or Boak. Just based on Port having that many wins, we'll go Boak second. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Boak slips down though. He's not very recognisable.
I'm putting him at third just because I haven't watched many Port games, but I am aware, because I'm a big Supercoach player. Yeah. I'm a bit aware that he has dropped in form, but he absolutely started the year.
I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't top 3. And then I have Lockie Neal first, obviously.
You can't go past him. He's bloody elite at what he does.
And then last of all, we'll do our mark and goal of the year, because they're going to be announced on Brownlow night.
Yeah, this is a bit of a Brownlow night special here tonight.
Yeah. We'll go
mark of the year first.
So the nominees were, if I can remember, Charlie Cameron against Adelaide.
We
had Bobby Hill against Adelaide. It's all against Adelaide. And then the last one was Sam Walsh against Port Adelaide.
Yeah. We'll link them all in the description if you want to have a look for yourself. Yeah. But who's your mark of the year? We'll get started with that.
Oh, okay. I'll go mine. Mine's Bobby Hill.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I watched that one live. I don't know why I was watching a GWS versus Adelaide game. Your thoughts as good as mine, but I was watching it and I was just like, that's one of the best marks I've seen. On top of 2 ruckmen. 2 of those were actually on Riley O'Brien, the two nominees. Yeah. But Bobby Hills was ridiculous.
And he's not the tallest of blokes either, so to get up on that.
And then he got it up, and then he got the second bounce. It wasn't a massive year for marks, but that was probably the best. Sam Walsh was very courageous, but probably just not quite good enough.
Yeah, well, on the back of the Sam Walsh one, I reckon that there's been high flyers. You put mark in the year and high flyers in the same boat ever since. I reckon the last probably non-high flyer was probably Revolt.
Yeah.
And that was
Jonathan Brown.
Both going back with the flight. So with saying that, I'm just going to go out there because none of the high flyers were that spectacular this year. So I'm going to go back Walsh in. Yeah. I reckon he's my mark of the year because if you re-watch the highlight, he's going back with the fly the ball with Charlie Dixon on the other end. He had a big
10 kilos coming at you.
Bloody meathead, the Dixon. Imagine, and Walsh isn't a big bloke. He's a skinny little runt. Yeah. And to go back and hold the mark with just going back with a flight, you got to reward the courageousness of him in that one.
And then we'll do goal of the year as well now. So goal of the year, the nominees were, if I can remember, Dacos was 1. Yeah. What were the others?
Jack Nunes after the siren.
Jack Nunes was after the siren.
Paddy Cripps as well against the Lions, I think.
Oh no.
No, the Crows. The Crows when they beat them.
I'll do mine first again. Mine has to be Jack Nunes. Another one. I watched that live. Probably one of the greatest kicks after sign I've seen.
For sure.
It was similar to Robbie Gray's. Robbie Gray's probably got snubbed
Robbie Gray's didn't get as much credit as it deserved.
But in the wet,
just remarkable.
That was one of the worst games I've ever seen until that moment.
Yeah, I'll put it out there. That's my goal of the year too, because I was watching that live. Mum's a Carlton fan. I yelled out to her in the bedroom. I was like, "Oh, Mum, yeah, Carlton aren't getting up here." Jack News come from St Kilda. He was an absolute shocking kick, to be fair to him.
And he's just done.
And then somehow he brushes the cameraman off. Doesn't spare any time. Goes back from 50 out in the wet. It was just
on the
bloody
bench. He
glorious.
slotted it.
Yeah, you would not read about it.
I was a
Jack
Carlton
News.
supporter for that moment.
Oh, I was jumping up and down. I could not imagine what a Carlton fan, because they were trailing all game too.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just,
Anyway.
well, yeah, I think it was a
Ends
nice
the footy.
and short show this week. If you didn't notice, we didn't have any highlights because the week didn't deserve any highlights, to be fair.
Pretty average.
It really wasn't that great. So, yeah, it's going to be a big week of prelim finals action. And, yeah, so maybe leave your predictions of the games below if you want to. And, yeah, we'll give a quick thanks to the Great Australian Screes, the Rexona. I mean, they haven't got back to us, but
We're getting the sponsor, boys.
yeah, we want to get a sponsor, and Rexona, you're really letting us down. So if you don't get back to us soon, we'll have to cut you from the lineup. But
anyway,
like and subscribe as usual, and stick around. So,
Catch ya!
Catch ya!